Welcome guys to another video by Shots. Now today we're gonna be looking into how to make a custom car and a custom truck and how to make multiple spawn when one is being removed. So also adding loot to them cars and trucks will be added into this video also. So yep, please hit the like, please hit subscribe, and for everybody that's been viewing my content and for everybody that has subscribed, I appreciate it all and a lot of love from myself. Now let's get into the video, so let's get coding. Welcome guys to another video by Shots. Now today we're going to be showing you how to spawn in a custom car or a custom truck with loot in the back and have it so that car or truck respawns when one is taken. Now one thing I must say is note if you put any loot inside one of these cars, all cars around the map are going to be spawning in with that loot. So what we're going to be doing is showing you how to eliminate one type of car or one type of truck from spawning around the map, and you just use it for your personal usage. Could be traders, could be you only want white augers for you could have a roleplay server and you only want white augers for couriers, and you want to set loot for the courier to have in his car for when he picks up his fares. He could give them a kind of tack bacon and I don't know, like a sword or something, you know, as like a courier gift or something. Any ideas you want. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to get our three files we're going to be working with, and three files are events.xml, which we're going to copy that to my desktop, and spawnable types.xml and event spawns.xml. Now once you've got them three files, you're going to open them three files up with inside your notepad++. Let me just rearrange this. There we go. We're going to be starting with events.xml. Now one thing I'm going to tell you is I like to keep all my stuff ordered up by putting in a text that cancels out anything, and you can type anything you want with inside this and it will not flag up as a error. It will not cause any disruption to your files. As you can see, no error detected, perfectly working. And you could do whatever you want. So you're going to put all, I could do all vanilla events, and you just know that everything that you place above this line is the work that you've done, and you separate your work from the work that's already in the files. Now we're going to be going straight down to the bottom of the file here, and we're going to be getting two events, and they are going to be the vehicle truck 01 and the vehicle sedan 02. Now what we're going to do is we're going to copy from the end of the event tag to the top of the vehicle sedan 02 and just next to the ending event for off-road hatchback. And why we're going to do that is it just allows us to paste our code next. It just allows us to click next to the code and paste our code, and it lines it up perfectly, and you don't need to create a new entry that way. You know, you can eliminate having to create a new entry. So let me just go back here just to pop us back to where it was. So we've now copied our event, which is these two, and we're going to be using the red car, so we're going to remove that from spawning in the game, and we're going to be using the blue truck, so we're going to remove that from spawning in the game. Now because we've removed them, what we're going to do is we're going to actually turn these up so we don't affect how many cars are in the game. Like I'm not calculating this right now, but you could be really specific if you want and replace the exact amount that you've took out. I'm just putting any number in just to give an example. And then what you want to do here, this is all done, you want to scroll up to the top of your file because you have this copied, remember. Scroll up to the top of your file, and above where you've placed in your, or you have not placed in your vanilla events separator, you could paste your event. And once you paste your event here, you're going to remove the trucks and cars you're not going to be using from this event, which in our case is the orange, the truck 01 and the other two coloured sedans, and we're going to be using our sedan 02 red, and we're going to be using our truck 01 covered blue. Now we're going to change the maximum and the minimum to 1. Yeah, we're going to change this to 1, and I'll explain this now. We only want 1 truck in that spot. We only want 1. We don't want 5, we want 1. At any one time, we want 1 truck in that spot. So we're going to call 1 minimum and 1 maximum. And that way, no truck can double stack. Literally only 1 can spawn on that spot, and we're going to create 10 of these. So we're going to put 10 normal, 10 minimum, and 10 maximum, right? And what this will mean now is that a truck will spawn, and then when it's taken, another one will spawn. Now, we can make this faster by, I like to have the lifetime up of 500, but we can make this easier, not faster, easier for the truck to spawn in areas by just putting the distance radius to 0, the cleanup radius to 0, and the safe radius to 0. And now that'll allow the truck to basically spawn in right in front of where you're standing. It'll also allow the truck, once it's been ruined, to despawn quite quickly. So yeah, once you've done that, you're just going to repeat the process for the vehicle sedan red, and we're going to be calling 10 of these in as well. And we're going to be changing our lifetime to 500, and we're going to be putting the distance, the safe radius, and the cleanup radius to 0. And also we're going to be changing mixed to child. Take cap lock off. So we're going to change mixed to child on both of our events. I always do this with all of my custom cars or custom trucks. Even buildings, I use the same technique to spawn in buildings. So this is now our 2 events created and made. The only issue is we already have events called Vehicle Truck 01 and Vehicle Sedan 02, so we're going to have to rename these. So we're going to rename these static underscore test car underscore 1. There we go, and we're going to just copy that, and we're going to paste that into where our truck is, and we're going to change the car to truck. Now you could have this as anything you want. For example, you could call this static. It must start with static, animal, item, or ambient. I think it could start with, maybe, but it's got to start with either animal, item, vehicle, or static, and they're the ones that I use. If you don't use this, they won't work. You can't just put test car 1 in the event name. It needs to have one of them 4 before it. So we have static test car 1, and we have static truck whatever. Let me just go back. Where are we? Static test truck 1. So now we're going to go into our events, because this is done. This is all done. You can now save this file, and that is done. So what you're going to be going to now is you're going to go to event spawns.xml. Now this very first code you see, just click up next to your event pos def and scroll down to the end of the event tag and just copy that. And once you've copied that, you are going to paste it into here and remove all but 1 coordinate, right? And we're just going to replace these here with a couple of X's, just so we know what we're doing. And we're going to replace our name with the X's. This don't matter, this just means what rotation the truck will spawn. I just like to have a nice flat number. You can put the extra 6 digits if you like, 0.6 digits. I just use a direct number from 0 to 360. It's just rotation, what way your truck's going to spawn in facing. Now we've got our template, we're just going to copy our template, and we're going to paste that twice. So once, so we've got an extra copy of it. And we're going to go back to our events, and we're going to grab our static test car 1, and we're going to pop our static test car 1 in there. And then we're going to go back to events again, and we're going to copy our static test truck 1, and we're going to paste our static test truck 1 in here. Now to get coordinates. Now real easy, very simple. Let's go straight to isurvive.com, and my traders is on Northeast Airfield, so I'm going to spawn these at Northeast Airfield. A nice clear spot over here. There's a perfect clear spot. In fact, we'll put on the road where I always put my NPCs. So I'm going to hold control over the area you want and press C, and then it's going to copy to the clipboard. I like to post it back into the I survive, and then just zoom in and make sure it's where you want it to be, and then paste your codes into the file, and remove your X codes and paste them into the X, and then your Z codes and paste them into the Z, and then take out the trash so it's nice and neat. And then you could always double check that by collecting the whole code and placing that in, and as you can see, we've got the right area. So I'm now going to do that again for the truck. So the truck is going to be spawning in over here. I had a friend come in the room, so I'm just going to do a quick little voiceover. All I'm doing here is replacing the X's with the coordinates in the X and the Z on the codes. Now there we go, that's our event. Our event is 10 cars, 10 trucks, we're calling in 10 red sedans, we're calling in 10 red blue trucks. And we have our event spawns, which is here, and as I said before, I like to keep things separate, so we could just, in fact, we don't even need to retype this. We can just go straight over to our events, and we can grab this tag like this, we can copy this, and we can paste it like that, and just bring that line back up, and we know that they're the vanilla events and they're our custom events. So that's it, that's how you get the car to spawn in. That will spawn you 10 cars, 10 trucks, one after another. When one is removed, one more will come. So now for loot, so we want to get loot, don't we? So we want to just go over to here and we want to just find our sedan 02 red. And we're going to go into spawnable types. One thing to note, I've said this previous on other videos, 0.0 and 0.0 in the damage. Is absolutely spot on, pristine for every single item within your game. That's how you get your items to spawn in pristine within your game. Very easy. So we're going to hold control and press F, and then we're just going to hold control and press V, and we're going to press enter. And it's going to take us down to our car. Now when you come down to your car, you've got a attachment and attachment chance. We have a vehicle sedan wheel 01 on our car. Its attachment chance is a 1.0, which is 100%, but then it's only a 0.80 on the wheel itself, causing an 80% chance of the wheel being attached to the car, and we want 100, so we're going to put 1.0, sorry, there we go, 1.1, there we go, thank you very much, I appreciate it. So 1.00 like that, and then we would place that on all of these items down here, and this would just create all these cars to spawn in complete. So let me just do this. It takes a little bit of a minute. I don't really know what to say while I'm doing this, but we'll get there, and once it's done, it's done. I'll give you a rundown of what's what. So this will now, because we've changed all these to 1.00, this will now spawn in that red sedan with every part attached to it, and you could do the same with the truck. I'm not going to do it in the video because I'm trying to keep the video quite short. So that is how you get your car to spawn in complete. You've just changed the attachment chance to 1.00, as you can see, and your car battery is now going to spawn in complete. Attached to your car, it's got a 100% chance. So is the headlights. So if you wanted to spawn the cars in with a 20% chance of having a spark plug, you would put a 0.20, and the spark plug is there for 1.00, but it's actually only got a 20% chance of being added to the car. Chosen to be added to the car, and then if it was here, it's got the 100% chance that if it is chosen, that item is the item that will be inserted into the car. So we don't want that right now. We want 1.00, 1.00, and we're going to zoom back out because the tear in my eye is so close. that is now our car spawning in as 10. It's not spawning anywhere else around the map. It has one spawn point, and it now has all of its parts. So to add more parts, it's very easy. All I do is copy the last item, paste the last item underneath the last item, and just rename that to a couple of X's, right? And then you're just going to copy that again, and you're going to paste it again, like so, just a couple of times. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab some items. So if you just give me a moment, we're going to pop into here, and we're just going to pop this here. Bear with me, I'm using a new laptop. I've got hardly no files on this laptop. They're all on my other laptop. Nearly swore. Oops. So say for example you want a water pouch natural to spawn in that car. So what you're going to do is you're going to collect that item name, and you're just going to paste it into the X, and it's that easy, it's that simple. You're going to go back to wherever you're finding your item names. So we're going to go down here and we're going to put a M4 in, and we're going to get the M4 green, and we're going to put an M4 green into that car as well, and maybe some food, maybe. We're not going to give them any ammo because we're stingy. But we could do, if you want to, you could add ammo. I'm just being quite quick trying to get through this file. But for example, we now have a car spawning in, 10 of them. Once one is taken, another one will respawn, and every time it respawns, it will respawn with a water pouch natural, a M4 A1 green, and a packet of chips in the back. You place whatever items you want in the extra X's. If you're not going to use them, remove them. So you just have a nice neat file, and always notice attachment chance opens the code. Item name is your item you're calling and the chance it has to be attached to the car, and then the attachment with the slash is the closing for the attachment. If you notice here, if I click on all these, the highlight, the opening and the close for each one. As you can see, there's the opening for the item and there's the closing for the item. So that is how you would do this. We're going to save that file, and obviously we're using a standard vanilla file here, so it still has dev marks in it. So just to show you, we remove all these dev marks and save the file there, and save the file there. The reason I'm saving the file is it'll automatically take me down to the next flagged error for say. These aren't errors, these will not cause any issues towards your server. It's just dev markers, so they know where to easily find their codes. It's just exactly the same as what I've showed you at the top. The only difference is my one does not cause an error, and their one does. So as you can see, we saved the file. I'm just going to go up here, scroll up to the very top of the file just to show you what I mean. For example, if I was to come along here and I was to place that village code into the file and have it how the devs had it, so this is how the devs have it, you'll see. Now if I save this file, it's going to create an error. As you can see, incorrect syntax was used in this comment, right? So if I use mine, what I do, which is just removing this, putting a couple of fancy little things in there, you know, could even put a couple of X's before the XXXZ, you know what I mean, XXX zombie, X-rated zombies, and you could save that file, and there's no errors, because that is absolutely perfectly working. So this has now, I'm going to remove that, this has now completed our journey into showing you how to do so. You now have spawned 10 cars, 10 trucks, into one location. When one is removed, another one will respawn. You're not going to have no issues of trucks on top of trucks. You're not going to have no issues of cars on top of cars. The only thing I will say is, be warned, if you do lock these trucks up inside your traders and you have toxic members that do shoot the trucks so they get ruined from outside the traders, them trucks will despawn and go back to their spawn point, so be aware wherever you choose to spawn your truck, that is where the other 10 trucks will spawn. And when the 10 trucks are on your map, if you want, you could just turn the active to 0, save, restart your server, and that will take them all out the map. And then you could just put the active back to 1, save, restart your server, and that will put them back in the map at their 1 again. So you'd have to go back over to the truck, take it, and then it'll keep doing that for 10 trucks. You could set the restock on these to a very high restock, so you could have say, yeah, we'll just do 3600, right? So we've got 3600 and it's on a restock, so this event now will not happen again for 36,000 seconds. 3,600 seconds, can't count. So yeah, so 3,600 seconds, each truck will spawn. If you set this as 0, the truck will spawn as soon as you take one. Have a good day. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so.